First and foremost, if you do not love the game completely, I'm telling you right now, your journey is going to be hell. What's going on, people? Yo, what's going on, Wide Receiver University? Class is now in session. We're going to be talking about mindset and how my mindset turned me to an absolute dog. It turned me up all the way when I was playing. A huge part of my success, and, it helped me get through mostly every hard time that I ever went through. You know what I mean? So, first, I got to hit you with the intro because sometimes you just got to remind them. Let's go!
How about the rookie who had a block punt in the first half and just scorched maybe the best corner in the Canadian Football League? And he's going to load it up and go deep, and he's got Simon Eyes.
Everybody told you you're not going to make it.
Man, it's time to write.
That's a 4-4-7,
I
hein?
really
On a
quick
vu
city
ici,
on map, man.
Bien positionné le ballon. Là, il
Damn,
seul
BC
Simon Eyes
baby,
pour
I
écarter
keep it
cette
raining.
passe.
I know they love me like
jeu
Raymond.
jeune.
Put the shoe to the pavement. I never change on the bitch. Tell it bring me my payment. Damn, BC baby, yeah. Tell them get lost, now they watching amazement. Stabbed in the back, I've been looking for Jason.
Mindset, right? Boom. If you're a dog, I really suggest you watch the rest of this video to the end because there's going to be some things in there. You probably do some of them, but I'm guaranteed there's a few things in there that could definitely turn you up to be the next level. You know what I mean? Look at my cat. Excuse me. First and foremost, mindset is the thing that separates good and great players. You know what I mean? Like the great players, the elite players, the top of the top players, you have to be somewhat wired differently. Like your mind has to work different than everybody else because the amount of work it takes and focus to get to that level is just a normal human being can't commit to that. A normal human being can't keep up with that. You know what I'm saying? So first and foremost though, it comes from the love of the game. All right. So right now, if you look in the mirror and if you don't really love the game of football, like you don't genuinely enjoy it, you play it for the things you can get out of it as opposed for the love. Like you just like going out there throwing the football around, or you enjoy watching the game, you like breaking it down and watching from different angles, or you like the compete factor of it that really drives you, or something along that lines that in your heart, like you really love football. Like it's not too many things you won't do in order to get ahead at football. Like that's first and foremost. If you do not love the game completely, I'm telling you right now, your journey is going to be hell. It's going to be hell because you're going to run into so many times, whether it be high school, college, professional, you know what I mean? So many situations to where your faith is going to get tested with the game. You might get put on practice squad for 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, the whole season. You might not dress for certain games. You know what I mean? You might not get playing time in certain games. You might get benched sometimes. You know what I mean? But does that mean that you just give up and just stop working on yourself? No, you know what I mean? Like, if you really love the game, it doesn't matter if you're playing, the ball boy, the whatever. Like, you just trying to be around the game. You're trying to compete. Your next thing that I would probably say when it comes to mindset is, like, this is kind of an obvious, but part of it comes from the offseason. You know what I mean? I hope that most of you watching this, if you take yourself serious as a football player, I really hope that you guys are taking off seasons to work on your game. That's one of the biggest things, like with development, is like your off season training. Like off season, you got to be constantly training. Football is 365 days out the year. It's not just seasons. Like you got to prepare your body to be at your absolute best. You know what I mean? And that doesn't happen over 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. You know what I mean? It's a process. You know what I mean? You got to get 1% better every day to get that big jump, to really take that leap. And like, you know what I mean? And it takes consistency. You got to be willing to do it over and over and over on the days that you don't want to. Just when you're not feeling like you got to be able to push through and be like, yeah, that's what I want to do. That's that. Like training, I think a big thing comes from training because you get the confidence that you put in the off season that carries over to the season. You know what I mean? Like when I was playing, it got to a point where it was like the guy lining up across from me, like it's impossible for you to win just simply based on the fact that you didn't work as hard as me this offseason, bro. I know for a fact you didn't work as hard as me. Nobody worked harder than me in the offseason. You know what I mean? That's how my mind was thinking because I know that I was really going so hard. Like my workouts were not like all fun and games, all smiles and rainbows. Like it was, you know what I'm saying? Black buckets and sweat and pain and getting cussed at, like nightmare type thing. Like it sucks. You know what I mean? It really sucks when you're grinding for football, bro. Like, it's like the off seasons that I was going in is just like, it's crucial. I was training with my dad for some of the time. So if you guys ever had a parent that coaches you or, you know, trains you, you know that parent is probably going to push you harder than everybody else just to set an example out of you. But it was like I was with it because that's what I loved. Like, I was in love with the process. I loved the off season. I loved the hardships of it. I loved the way it hurt because I knew at the end of the day that I was coming out of it better. I saw myself getting better as I put more work in, you know. But that's what we'll have a whole conversation on off season because that it gets really deep. You know what I'm saying? But that's a big part of your mindset is having a good offseason. To have the confidence to come into the season like, man, you can't fuck with me just because off the fact that you didn't work as hard as me. You know what I mean? Like, real dog stuff. Like, you didn't work as hard as me. So you got that grit. Let's see. You got to take every single play and every single matchup. You got to take that shit personal. You got to take that shit personal, bro. Like, you got to take that shit personal. Like, something that will help you is like, it's almost like you're thinking that you're going to stop me with this. You think that you're going to stop me. You're going backwards and I'm going forwards. And you think that, right, okay, right. You know what I mean? And maybe I might have been scarred or whatever the case may be. But I just always took it as like disrespect. You know what I mean? I don't know what it was. But it got to a point where it was like I was taking it as like disrespect. Like, you really think that you're going to shut me down? Like, I'm not going to do what I came here to do? That's what you think? It's crazy, man. But that's what got me fired up. That's little things that got me fired up. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you do have to take it personal. Every single rep, you got to take personal. Blocking reps has to be a want to with those. Like, effort is king when it comes to blocking. You might not even have to make a big smack block every time. But the fact that you're working to be in between him and the ball carrier, that's you know what I mean? That's want to. That's really want to. You know what I mean? That's taking it personal. Like, my man will not make the play. And you got to, like, almost have pride in it. You know what I mean? And granted, you're going to, especially when it comes to blocking, like, you're going to miss blocks. But for the most part, it's like, bro, if you beat me to the ball, it's like, damn, all right, you did your thing. You know, I remember a story back in high school. I'm not going to say no names, but I was at VC. And the whole week, there's a matchup. There's another receiver and corner. He was 6'4", 6'5", fast. He was decently fast. He wasn't as fast as me, but they tried to blow it up. And they was in the paper all week trying to blow up a matchup. And I remember that week, I was so gassed up. I was so like, bro, like, why are they even putting me and him in this conversation, trying to make this, like, I'm a real football player. Like, I really am a real football player. Like, this guy, you know, I was just like, man, he does not take it as serious as me. And that turned me up all practice, bro. I was mad all week because I was just like, bro, they really trying me. Long story short, the game came. You already know how that went. But it was just like, I took it as disrespect. Like, we can't be named in the same conversation and be taken serious because I'm the one. That's how I felt. Like, I am the one. I am the one. I am the one. No way about it. You know what I mean? But it came from confidence because I knew how hard that I worked. You know what I mean? So what else we got? On film. This kind of ties into like having pride and shit like that. Like, you got to have pride and take it personal. Like, a great quote that I heard, you're not who you think you are who shows up on film. I'm going to say it again. You're not who you think you are, okay? You with me? You are who shows up on film. Amazing. I love it. I love that shit. I love it. I'm pretty sure you have heard the term, the eye in the sky don't lie. And boy, that thing don't lie. If you walking back to the huddle, he gonna see it. He gonna see it. He gonna see it. Coach gonna see it. Everybody in your room gonna see it when y'all watch film. Look at this. Walking back to the huddle, or he giving up on a play, or he not doing that. I love film. And I love coaches that call shit out because it's like, bro, we just being lazy for no reason. Have some pride. You know what I mean? Have some pride for what shows up on film because that's who you are as a player. So if you want to show what type of player you are, it's got to show up every single play on film. You know what I mean? You got to show that on film. You're only as good as your last play. You feel what I'm saying? So you're not who you think you are. You are who shows up on film. Okay? Now, let's move forward a little. A lot of us have been in this situation where we might play on a shitty team. Yeah, we might play on a bad team. And we don't have many good teammates. Everybody's been there. You know what I mean? We're the only guy. So now situations like these are very delicate. You know what I mean? Because if you're the best player on the team, right, and everybody else is not really close to as good as you are, and you're really just the only guy on the team, it makes it very easy for you to be complacent with where you're at. There's no real push to help you get better every single day. You know what I mean? There's no real like fire under your butt or like no like, you know what I mean? Because it's shit around you. You know what I mean? You're surrounded by shit. And it's like, it's hard to grow when you just surrounded by shit. It's like you need help to grow. You know what I mean? You need help to grow. You can obviously work on yourself, but it's like when you're just surrounded by shit, you can't be complacent. You have to consistently know where your level at, your skill level, and know your goals to work towards so that it don't matter where you are, you're constantly working towards this way, even if other people want to work towards this way. You know what I mean? Like, prime example. And these guys were not shit, and the level was not really shit, but it wasn't as high. So when I came out of college, the first team that I went to was Arena. It was the lowest level Arena. All right. I was 20 years old. All right. First pro team I ever signed with. We were getting $300 a game, American. All right. I knew that playing in this league, the lower level Arena team. So like for everybody at home, for those who don't know, it'd be like NFL, CFL, Arena, Arena 2, and then Arena 3. This is what like Arena 3. You know what I mean? So I already looked at myself like, I'm going to the league. You know what I mean? So for me, subconsciously, that was just the lily pad on my journey. I knew I wasn't meant to stay there. I was still focused on trying to go to the league. I knew that I was still going to have to be focused enough. Even when these guys might be complacent, some of these guys might stay at this level forever. You know what I mean? They might not get any higher opportunities than that. So I had to make sure that I was focused to handle my stuff. No disrespect and respectfully, but it just is what it is. I knew it. Everybody else around me knew it. Who this 20-year-old kid, 6'5", just coming out here killing shit is like, you know what I'm saying? Fresh out of college, and these grown men. You know what I mean? So that's just like a situation like that where I had to, do the extra things. Had to try and go get the protein powder. We were getting a ride to the gym at the time. So it was me and a couple other teammates. But we were handling our business, even though we knew that we weren't, you know what I'm saying, meant to be there. So we just talked about competing against shit or around shit. All right, so now let's talk about your mindset every single day going into practice. All right, like we think about practice like, oh, okay, we going to practice. We got this many plays or whatever the case may be. I'm going to just go ahead, get them done and see what's up. Okay, I'm going to tell you a mindset to go into practice with. All right, going into practice, obviously, like it's a game situation. Like you're always going to give 100%, right? But going into it, understanding that your development as a wide receiver or corner or whatever it is long term, right? You're thinking about a career, right? So it's not like you're just going to get this good and then you're going to stay that good forever. You know what I'm saying? Like you always can continue to get better. You know what I mean? There's always things to get better at. So you don't have to think about yourself as an athlete. Think about it as like a long-term thing. And once you understand that, then all it is just going out each and every day, trying to get something out of it. Going into it each practice with something, all right, I'm going to work on getting out of my breaks in 2 steps this practice instead of 3. Okay, I'm going to work on running back to the ball with my comebacks. You know what I mean? Finishing at the sideline. Oh, I'm going to work on watching the ball into my hands and tracking it in the air. Into practice with intention. Even though it's a team practice, you can work on your skills. Going into practice saying, I'm going to work on my press releases. Every DB I go against, hey, come here. I want you right there. Come line up right here. Let me work on my press release. You know what I mean? Get them fired up so that they can fire you up, and in return, you guys both get better. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's talk about if you are on the practice roster or scout team or something like that. And I know that shit gets frustrating. High school, college, professional. You know what I mean? Scout team or non-dress list or practice squad, whatever the case may be. Now, I got a different approach at this shit. right? At the end of the day, if you know what type of player you are, you know what you're capable of doing, right? You know that you could ball out. You know you could go out there on the starters. And I had to learn this as well. Practice squatted or scout team for the season or for the week. You never know what that's for. You know what I mean? You never know what the reason is for. Sometimes, a lot of the times, it's not going to make sense. It's not going to make sense to anybody. But for some reason, it's just what happens. So you might as well learn how to roll with it, right? So if you know what type of player you are, just understand everything happens for a reason, right? You get scout teamed, right? Then just continue to work on your stuff 1% every day. 1% every day, however it could go. You know what I mean? You're working on yourself, something. Are you getting better today? If you're not getting better, then you're getting worse. That's just how it is. You know what I mean? Normally, if you're on a scout team or practice squad, right, you're going against the starters. So what better situation to be in than going against the starters every single time? You know what I mean? That's what you want. I want the best because that's how I'm going to get better. You know what I mean? If you're a scout team guy or a practice squad guy, sometimes you might not be, up to speed yet. But after a couple weeks of going against the starters, you're going to start getting your groove. You're going to start, being able to get busy and do stuff. I see you in my camera, dog. No respect. You know what I mean? But you're going to catch up to speed. So going against better competition, sometimes it's not better, but it's the best that you could get at that time is going to elevate your game as well. And if you're a guy trying to get a spot, the scout team is the spot to where you could show what you could do and make them be like, damn, coach, we got to start this guy because do you see what he's doing to these starters? Serious. Sometimes they won't see it, but sometimes they will. At the end of the day, as long as you know who you are as a player, you know what I mean? It is what it is. It is what it is, but do not get discouraged and, down and stop working on yourself because somebody else made a bad decision. Next, self-motivation is a superpower. All right, I'm going to say it again. Self-motivation is a superpower. Growing up through high school, right, there's a lot of stuff that I missed out on. There's a lot of stuff I missed out on. Like, I never went on a vacation until I was 21 years old. I never went on a vacation, no summer vacation, no nothing until I was 21 years old. Because summers, I always had football. I was always training or I was always playing. You know what I mean? A lot of these situations, I would feel left out. But at the end of the day, I always thought about it like, damn, like all my boys going to Mexico for, senior trip. And I can't go because I got football back here and I got to train and shit like that. I was like, shit, that sucks. But at the end of the day, I always thought about it like this. At the end of the day, they're not going where I'm going. You know what I mean? Or, other teammates I would play with. And I'd be trying to do some extra work. And guys won't want to do extra work. And it's just like, okay, well, in the back of my mind, it's like, they're not going where I'm trying to go. You know what I mean? It's whether they don't believe in themselves, they don't believe they could do it. But I'm going somewhere different. So I got to do something different. And the ability to focus and identify the things that you need to do or the things that you think you need to do to raise your level of, growth as a player, to be able to do that with no other motivation around you that's on that same type of time is a superpower. Any place, anytime can you activate. You know what I mean? And that's a huge thing. That's a very huge thing. Whew. That's a lot. This is a long video. All right. This is a long video. I got a lot of shit on my chest. I'm just trying to get it off. But check this out. I'm going to end this up right here because my phone's running out of storage. I got to switch it up. All right. And this might be the biggest one that I could give. All right. Know your why. Know why you play this game. What is the deeper motivation behind it? Behind you just love this game. Why you play it? Is it because, that's all you really have? Is it because, you know what I mean? Like, what is the reason for you playing the game? What brings your love for the game? If you think about your why and your reason behind the game before every time you step on the field, I guarantee you, try it next time and watch the magic that happens. You will go on that field with a different type of fire, ready to stand on whatever, go against whatever, and do whatever on that football field that you could even think about doing. It will completely put you in the superhero mode. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Try it. All right. So I know this is a long one. I had a lot on my chest. I just wanted to get it out. I hope it all made sense. Comment down below if there's anything else you want me to discuss on. I'm going to keep it coming with the videos. I appreciate you guys tapping in, and you know what I'm saying? Let's be great. Let's be great for real. Let's go.